Hello and welcome to our presentation. This presentation is meant for the MU Extension Office in Buchanan County. We're going to start by introducing ourselves.
My name is Nicole Siranowski.
Bryce Dowdle.
David Rutherford.
Audrey Streifler.
Dalton Sweden.
And Cameron Haas.
Now we're going to move into our introduction where Nicole is going to talk about what we will be talking about.
So our topic for the presentation is on our research and experience regarding agritourism in Buchanan County. If you had asked us a few months ago what that meant, we could admittedly tell you that we did not have a general clue. Between the six of us, we have people from St. Louis, Chicago, Kansas City, Southeast Missouri, and even as far as New York. With that being said, I would say a majority of this group has not had prior exposure to the culture and everyday lifestyles of farmers and residents of the county. We knew from the beginning we were going to have our work cut out for us, but our group got along right from the start and instantly started brainstorming ideas for a plan of action. For those unfamiliar, agritourism can be defined as a mix of tourism and agriculture. It is a commercial venture linking to agricultural production that attracts visitors to farms, ranchers, and local businesses. If executed properly, agritourism can be a huge generator of income for farmers and business owners, but it is easier said than done. Our main goal and focus is to come up with a strategized proposition to help further stimulate economic growth and development in the county. As our group scheduled more meetings and coordinated Zoom calls with our project site supervisor, Denise Hector, we started feeling more confident in gathering our main ideas and began researching. We first came up with recreational and educational activities for adults and children. For adults, we wanted to implement winery tours and wine tasting. Tours through the chemical companies and pharmaceuticals, dairy farms, food markets, etc. For children, obviously more exciting ventures such as corn mazes, pumpkin patches, hay rides, petting zoos. While I only mention children and adults, agritourism is truly eventful for all ages and make for wonderful family trips. I would even say our target audience is mainly directed at families. Agritourism would statistically be most popular in the fall and holiday seasons, considering that is when family time is spent the most. Compared to your classic Caribbean cruise or ski trip in the mountains, agritourism is fairly inexpensive. This would attract many tourists because it is affordable and raises curiosity about rural cultures and lifestyles from visitors from urban and suburban areas. In today's society, most children and young people living in a suburban and metropolitan area are glued to iPhones, iPads, video games, and Instagram. They are too obsessed with the nonstop innovations in technology, which is why attracting people to see these farms is important for many reasons. One of them is being able to bring back a sense of innocence and nostalgia. Agritourism brings people together and reminds them to enjoy the pure things life has to offer, like nature, animals, fresh air, family, friends, and tranquility. Curiosity is what will drive the mind for people to educate themselves on this topic and while be economically helpful. Agritourism, in a sense, can get the best of both worlds and collect revenue from production as well as from entertainment. Production sales from markets and crops would be direct revenue from the consumers, and the tourism industry will increase population with visitors and liven up the county. When the town is thriving, so are the people. What I mean by this is that agritourism has a chance to increase local tax bases as well as provide new employment opportunities. To broaden the educational aspect, agriculture can start becoming part of the school's curriculum and spark interest early on. Last importance is that it preserves the land and allows businesses, enterprises to be carried out by the states. Statistics show that more than half of the global population lives in cities. So what would make those young people living in urban areas want to come and learn more about agriculture and farming? Marketing and spreading the word more effectively will need to play a big role. It has always been a stereotype that farmers in a small town live a very modest lifestyle and are maybe even considered to be disconnected to the outside world, especially with social media. Social media, as we all know, has its pros and cons. But if there's one thing I think everyone can agree on, is its power to economically stimulate population worldwide. It's been proven multiple times. We have seen one single tweet, picture, or video has gone viral in less than 24 hours, and there's no reason the same thing cannot happen with advertising agritourism. While word of mouth is the most prominent way right now, it is best to get a head start on networking and making connections. First, create a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram page solely dedicated to promoting the agritourism sites people would be visiting. For example, an easy way to connect with people outside of the town could be to have college students that are from the county post about it on their personal accounts and link or tag it to the business accounts. This way it attracts the younger crowd while at the same time creating dialogue within the older generation and establish a unique following. Now that I've covered the overview of our goal and discussed the importance of agritourism, I will now let the other members talk about the economic analysis, market analysis, benefits and risks, depths of agritourism, and end with the final conclusion. Thank you.
I conducted the economic analysis, and to start off, we began with the current situation. So they're dealing with Chateau, which is a milk farm that does agritourism, Home Place Field, which is for flowers, Biozyme, which is for vitamins and feed. And some of these companies are using agritourism, which increases their revenue. However, how can Buchanan County in particular develop more agritourism to stimulate economic growth? And more importantly, would it even be worth achieving? The Missouri Agritourism Survey says it is, with nearly 2/3, specifically 64.4% of farm operators stating that their farm profits increased after establishing agritourism on their farms. Furthermore, participating farms in the survey are nearly broken down evenly into quarters when reporting their gross sales. The brackets include less than $10,000, $10,000 to $49,999, $50,000 to $249,999, and $250,000. Due to these results, one can draw the conclusion that from previous studies from other regions suggesting that agritourism has the ability to increase farm revenue and profits holds true and aligns with Missouri farms. Another study showed a positive correlation between farm success that related back to networking involvement, physical resources, and level of agritourism engagement. Within this study, an analysis of acreage was performed with results ranging from 1 to 8,000 acres. There was a positive relation between greater acreage and economic performance. Farms with greater acreage believe themselves to be a more profitable business. However, greater acreage comes with greater opportunities for agricultural production, which increases economies of scale. Previous studies in other regions of the United States also suggest that there is not a significant correlation between the location of farm and profitability. Some indicated that closeness to an urban area benefits the farm's business due to a larger group of clientele, while others said the remoteness of the location is positive because it complements the tourism appeal of the farm. Due to these results, the location of Buchanan County may become insignificant when assessing how to draw in greater profitability for their agritourism. However, there is a negative association found in the study between off-farm employment and the economic situation of a farm. This suggests the investment of time is a much more important detail in the success of an agritourism farm than the location itself. Another study indicated that the greater number of marketing methods used increases the percentage of farm sales derived from agritourism activities. The marketing methods suggested to be the most important and successful based upon this include utilizing websites, blogs, personal selling, advertising, and mass media. The most important takeaway from this study is that it is critical for farms participating in agritourism to effectively communicate their offerings to assist in the public's awareness in order to obtain new clientele. However, it is noted that while reaching the new base of clientele, it is highly important to foster the relationships in order to retain customers. A lot of the marketing resources are of low cost, such as websites, blogs, and personal selling. So if one is hesitant about the cost of marketing an existing agritour, it does not need to be expensive. Since 2002, the income per farm involved in agritourism has more than doubled. In the USDA census, respondents claim to have generated a total of $566 million in farm income, which comes to about $24,000 per farm. Worth noting is that recreational farm owners reported a household net worth above average. Additionally, agritourism can also add to the overall property value of a firm and help them survive bad crop years that includes disasters and droughts, and that although some may argue that crop insurance may assist when this happens, however, these difficult years could always benefit from extra revenue. So this won't be easy, and it'll require a lot of hard work and grit to reap the economic benefits. It'll require a lot of time, good management, and employees. One idea for those interested in trying out agritourism but they're not ready to fully commit would be to implement a seasonal activity which would provide an off-season. An example of this would be corn mazes or hunting. It is highly important to consider safety and public health issues as it is required that one follow all of the rules and requirements to protect one's operation. So specific to Buchanan County, I've looked up high, medium, and low price points for hotels, restaurants, and included other expenses. And just looking at these numbers, a family or a couple coming by, even a single person, would need to spend a decent amount of money to come visit, and it would benefit the overall economy, not just the farmers. So why should you care about extra money that's not going directly to the farmers? It seems kind of not what we're doing here. But it is stimulating the overall economy, which will in turn assist farmers and everyone in the county.
There are a lot of benefits and risks that deal with agritourism. Agritourism has a very positive impact on farmers and local agricultural plants. Agritourism brings people in small towns closer together, and the foods they use are very useful to bring people to the farm. Although there are many benefits of agritourism, there are also a lot of risks. Benefits include interactions with customers, education for the children that come to the farm, increased profits, increased sales within the local community, a new way to market old products, and seasonal flexibility. Here's some examples of benefits. For education, field trips would be a good idea to increase the people coming to see the farm. It creates real-life education opportunities for the kids to see the animals and just everything on the farm. Seasonal flexibility like pumpkin patches, corn mazes, Christmas tree shopping. You can get a lot of people coming to the farm, which then increases your sales because they see the stuff you are marketing to the public. Here's some examples of pumpkin patches. People come pick out a pumpkin. Corn mazes, have kids run through the corn mazes. Hay rides, Christmas tree chopping. This all brings the community closer together. It makes it more of a family-oriented farm and makes families want to come. Marketing old products. A lot of the times the food that the farmers sell to the grocery stores isn't always what they can get organically from the farm. What's good about it coming to the farm is you get it straight from the source instead of the grocery store, because who knows how long it's been sitting there. Just a picture of organic vegetables. You know what you're buying. Creates a relationship with the farm and brings people closer together. Here are some risks. Site safety, risk of products for sale are not hazardous, animals being hurt, machines being broken or overused, stolen or vandalized property, false claims of injury, and also a question that a lot of the farmers were asking when we went to our site visit was, who's going to work on the property for them? Site safety fruit. There are a lot of legal responsibility for bad products being sold. You don't want to sell a bad product to a customer and it have E. coli or anything like that. Making sure that nobody gets hurt. You don't want kids running around, jumping on the machinery, getting their legs caught in something, because then they're liable for the medical bills and anything like that. Workers for the agritourism and stolen or vandalized food. Making sure people are working on the farm, making sure nothing is stolen or vandalized. Having people around your property, especially in big groups, can create a lot of risk with the stuff you have there.
So for the makeup of Buchanan County and the surrounding areas, Buchanan County is located in northwest Missouri. It's approximately 1 hour north of Kansas City, and the largest city in the area is St. Joe. This area includes many unique types of agritourism and agriculture operations. They have farms, wineries, dairies, pharmaceutical operations, and various chemical plants. Said overall, the 2017 census of agriculture showed that there were 797 farms in Buchanan County, and compared to 2012, this was a 10% increase. This shows that the market for agriculture and agritourism is on a renewed interest as the amount of people getting involved in farming has been increasing. Along with being a prime agricultural region, Buchanan County is in ideal proximity with the KC metro area. Combined with Buchanan County and the KC metro, there are over 200 schools in the area. This would be an ideal location for children to get involved in different agritourism opportunities. So, for the producer for agritourism, research showed that 68% of surveyed farmers in Missouri are currently involved with agritourism. In the case of the generations of farmers, younger generation farmers are the ones that tend to be involved the most in agritourism currently. Research has shown that this is due to a more entrepreneurial mindset among the younger generation of farmers. And as far as gender didn't really play much of a difference in the wanting to get involved with agritourism, but research did show that females were more likely to want to use their agritourism efforts to educate the communities. 35% of Missouri farmers that are not involved right now in agritourism are intending to get involved with the coming years. And the report showed that 72.2% of surveyed Missouri farms participating in agritourism were within a mile access by highway. This shows that the consumers for agritourism are not willing to go super far off the beaten path. They want a nice accessibility to these agritourism opportunities, and being an hour from Kansas City, this provides an ideal location. As far as the consumers, the primary consumers for agritourism are school children and individuals who have not been traditionally exposed to agriculture. This includes both females and non-white individuals. Research shows that white males are still the dominant gender in agritourism. Additionally, many consumers tend to be from urban areas, whereas there's not a traditional exposure to agriculture. Based on a study in nearby Iowa, researchers found that fall was the preferred season. But there was also renewed interest in the winter season as well. In a study done in Iowa, the same study mentioned that the primary methods for finding out about agritourism was word of mouth. This 67.18% of people that were familiar with different agritourism opportunities have learned by word of mouth. And now for our market suggestions for Buchanan County. Said, we believe that it is an ideal location based on its proximity to the Kansas City metro area. First off, we believe that Buchanan County needs to focus on creating a relationship with the Kansas City metropolitan schools. They could have various things such as field trips, because school children are very eager to get out of the class and get to see things and experience farms. And a lot of these kids being in Kansas City, they might not ever have the opportunity to experience a farm. According to the Missouri Agritourism Survey, educational tours made up half of the agritourism activities for the state of Missouri. We believe that the Extension Office needs to work with schools to find a partnership to employ these types of programs. Next, we believe that also you need to focus on senior groups such as church groups and senior citizens, because these also are a large portion of the people that participate in agritourism opportunities. Next, we believe that you need to work on engaging smaller family farms. As the number of farms in the United States has been decreasing overall, agritourism is a great way for struggling farms to bring in additional income. We also believe we need to work on engaging the older generation of farmers. As many older generation farmers are struggling to adapt to the changing times, agritourism, it's important that we need to educate them properly to know how to adopt this new type of operation. We also believe you need to capitalize on the fall and winter season. As these are the most popular seasons, that Buchanan County this needs to capitalize on the season. This is an ideal time for farmers because many farming operations tend to wind down in the fall and especially in the winter. And then our final recommendation, we believe, is that the Extension Office needs to create a website for agritourism in Buchanan County. This website needs to be able to inform local businesses and farmers about the agritourism, provide a portfolio of the different agritourism opportunities in Buchanan County, and this also will increase the exposure for Buchanan County for agritourism, as the primary method is word of mouth. But overall, we believe that Buchanan County's makeup of the cities and the different agriculture opportunities with the proximity to the Kansas City makes it an ideal location to implement agritourism.
So I did research on some farms and vineyards in the Buchanan County and the neighboring counties. And I'll start with Triple Hill Winery, which is family owned by a brother and sister. They grow their own grapes on site. They do wine tastings and host events like bingo and band night. They do holiday events for Christmas and Thanksgiving, which are the popular seasons for this. And overall, they are heavily involved in the community. Next is Jowler Creek in Platte County, which is right next door. This is also a vineyard and winery, and this is Missouri's first green winery, which means they use special techniques in protecting and harvesting their grapes. They use animals to assist the growing process, and they offer several events for all ages, such as hay rides, grape stomping, and more. Next is Chateau Dairy Farm in Buchanan County, and this is family owned for 100 plus years, and they've been producing their own dairy products since 2003. They offer lots of fresh produce, and they own a processing plant which is open to the public, and they offer family tours to cover essentially the whole process. And on top of this, they offer hay rides, art classes, and free samplings. Lastly, we have Home Place Fields, which is a flower farm and a unique one at that. It's family owned, it's on 2 acres, and appointments are necessary to visit. They offer wedding packages, floral arrangements, and a great option for local high school graduates to take pictures on the site. And I'd say the overall takeaway is they do have several obstacles in implementing agritourism opportunities, such as financing, trial runs, and investing. But the reward can easily outweigh the risk. And social media presence is an easy way to spread the word for current operations like the ones covered.
Alrighty, and I'll wrap it up with a conclusion. I'll touch base on some limitations and barriers to entry, some recommendations, comparisons, and a future outlook on the agritourism in Buchanan County. Some limitations that were discussed at our site visit were farmers are oblivious to the idea, but they're not aware that customers would be willing to pay money to go onto their farm and explore. Lack of labor supply. The agriculture industry in general lacks a lot of labor, and if you wanted to start an agribusiness, you need more labor to run that business. Cost of entry. Starting a farm alone is very expensive, and if you wanted to transition that farm into an agritourism type of business, that would require more cost. Liability. Opening your farm up to the public will come with a lot of risk, injury. So there's going to be a lot of liability that the farmers are going to take on. And then the landscape. A future outlook for agritourism in Buchanan County. They recently funded a project for the St. Joseph Riverfront Park. They raised $92 million to fund the project over a 6-year period. It'll have attractions such as a boat marina. They'll have access to the river, a family fun zone that has games such as pickleball, mini golf, dining, and then hotels on site as well. Here's a photo of the river walk when you first enter the Riverfront Park, of what they kind of want it to look like. They've yet to break ground on the park. So that's another limitation for this entire project. I had more on there. Here's a photo of one more up. A model farm that was discussed at our site visit was the Vallis Pumpkin Patch in Gretna, Nebraska, which is located kind of in the middle between Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska. Similar to how Buchanan County is near a major metropolitan area of Kansas City, the Dallas Pumpkin Park is similar to that, how people have to kind of leave their home city to go visit there. It's been in business for 35 years. It was built from the ground up. They had zero prior farming experience. The family did. It's a 400-acre operation. It's got anything ranging from the pumpkin patch to corn mazes, live music. They even have educational seminars on agriculture. The farm itself utilizes cheap labor and diverse skill sets by running as a family business. It employs over 1,000 workers that operate on the farm during the busy season. So that's another thing we were talking about previously is a lack of labor. You're going to need a lot of people to operate an agribusiness. Here's a photo of the Valla family, Tim Valla in the middle, surrounded by his kids and grandchildren, who all contribute a big piece to the farm's operation today. Here's a main entry of the farm. Some recommendations for future groups and just farm owners in general in the area. For future groups, we recommend committing some research on the riverfront park, because it's yet to break ground, see if there's any recommendations or ideas that could speed that process, as it is a very large funded project. Another recommendation was to capitalize on farms' natural landscapes. So if you have a pond, a barn, or a very aesthetic view, you can use that for weddings, parties, corporate events, and that'd be low cost of entry, as all that you need is on site and would be easy to utilize. Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening to my presentation.
Thank you.